Okay, episode 7, all things boxing. We're straight back in again. Fresh from the show last night, we had the Sky Sports show with Boxer, and the main event was Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams. Chris Eubank Jr. came away with the victory. I think he dropped him 4 times or 3 times. Four times. What's your thoughts on the fight, Jack? I'll start with you.
Boy, it was a good fight for Eubanks. Impressive performance. Did what he had to do. It went the way I felt it was going to go beforehand. There were 3 knockdowns in it, really. The fourth one was more of like a little slip or whatever.
That's what I thought.
But no, impressive performance. He kind of beat him with one hand, really. Mm-hmm. The lead left with a jab. Just picked him off at will and arguably should have finished the fight. I mean, he really should have finished the fight after the first 4 rounds, but I can understand. He said he kind of eased off a little bit. Mm-hmm. He said he hurt his hand as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you believe all of that, then yeah, makes sense why he didn't get a stoppage.
I hear you. Josh, what do you think?
I was a bit disappointed with Liam Williams' punch resistance, man. Like I had him down to win the fight. And I think in the 4 rounds the judges gave him, I thought it was more like 5 rounds. In the first round when he got knocked down, he was winning the round and he started very strong. Mm-hmm. And then in the fourth, when he got knocked down the 4th time, he was winning that round as well. And I think he would have gone on to win that round. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, I don't know if there was an issue with Liam Williams going into the fight, whether he struggled to make the weight or whatnot. I didn't watch the interviews after, so I don't know if he spoke about that afterwards. You lot might be able to enlighten me on that. But yeah, like, to go down from that little flash jab in the first round when you're on top and you haven't really taken any punishment up until then, I found was a bit strange, especially for a fighter of Liam Williams' nature. You know, that kind of set Chris Eubank up for the following 4 rounds, and I think he looked very good in them 4 rounds after that first knockdown. It's the first time I've seen him do something different and look comfortable doing it. If that's Roy Jones's influence shining through, if he can do more of that, then I think you might finally have a fighter on your hands. But yeah, I think But then when Liam Williams kind of got back into the fight and started to claw back the rounds after the 4th round, I think he showed who was the more comfortable boxer in the ring. Whether that's because Eubank Jr. stepped off, I don't know. But yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, like I said, the first knockdown kind of ruined it for me. I think Liam Williams weren't quite right for them 3 rounds after that.
It discombobulated him, innit?
Yeah, and you can't say, if he never got knocked down, what would have happened? Because he got knocked down. But
what? So he got knocked down in the 1st round, the 2nd, and the 4th.
Yeah,
and
the 11th.
And the 11th. Yeah. My take on it, I kind of agree with both of you in some points, but my take on it was that it weren't so much the knockdowns I was surprised by, because some of them looked like balance shots. Like, especially where Liam was like charging in or jumping in or running in. I thought, okay, you get hit with anything, or you get pushed, you can go over. But it was when he got up, and I was like, he don't look.
The first one, innit?
His eyes look glazed.
Just more. I didn't see his eyes, but it's just like more the legs. Yeah. Like the legs just did not look like. Considering this is the 1st round, look, 4 rounds. Amateurs fighting 4 rounds and 5 rounds. So like the first 2 rounds, when I saw the legs, it just like, I thought, is there something wrong with the weight? And I watched the public workout, which is only 2 days before, and he looked good, looked sharp, as they always do. So when I saw that, I was like, something is wrong with him. You know?
The thing is as well, like, we can't sit here and say, them punches weren't hard because we weren't the ones receiving them. But evidence suggests that, like, Eubank Jr. ain't got.
Yeah, he's no Marvin.
He's a big puncher, but he's not like
he's not a one
shot, one kill.
And that showed as well in this fight. Like,
he's not. He's never has been, because he's landed some big shots on guys, but it's just the repetition of shots that sort of gets to them in the end. So yeah, that would be the only thing that would kind of suggest to me that maybe. I mean, the only time I've kind of seen that happen to someone recently is Amir Khan against Terence Crawford. And we all know about Amir Khan. So yeah, like, it was. I found that a bit strange, but look, like I said, Eubank Jr. looked very good in them first sort of 4 or 5 rounds. He even like started to look a bit like Roy Jones himself for like, he wasn't Roy Jones, but like, you know what I mean? Like he just looked comfortable doing it, and I like to see that. So I'm glad he kind of made me eat my words on me saying that I thought Liam Williams would win.
Who did you have winning?
Eubank.
You had Eubank.
Yeah.
I kind of had Eubank as well.
Going into the fight.
Yeah, going into the fight.
But in that nature.
Not in that nature.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more dominant. And I think it was dominant maybe on the scorecards. Sorry. I think it was dominant maybe on the scorecards because of the knockdowns. But I felt like after round 5, I know you used the term Liam clawed his way back into the fight. I feel like Eubank just stopped doing stuff.
But before the fight, I watched the interview where they spoke up. Who was the fighter that Chris Eubank made brain dead?
Nick
Blackwell.
Yeah, Blackwell. And they were, I think, was it Coogan? Might have been Coogan. Asked him a question about it, and he said, I've never really kind of spoken about it. And that, you know, like how his dad, when it happened with his dad kind of, it took away from future performances, but whereas with him, he's just carried on. And I wondered if in that fight, like, he's hitting with a few punches, maybe did that play a factor? Do you know what I mean? In pulling off?
Go on, Josh.
No, I was just going to say, I think that, look, if you get knocked down 3 times by Chris Eubank Jr., you have to knock him out after that. Because, you're going to have to put him on the canvas or just completely outbox him, which is going to be hard after 3 knockdowns. And I think Eubank Jr. knows that as well. Like, he's 2 of his main assets are his engine to last a fight and his chin. Because
he's tough as well.
I've never seen him
hurt really
out of his depth physically.
Even when George Groves was landing big shots on him, he was still there.
I think probably Eubank Jr. knows that. I think he's still in a transitioning process in terms of what he's trying to do in the ring. He probably just felt he didn't really need to. He's got that kind of character, isn't it? If you don't need to. He did it again. He did it against Marcus Morrison.
Do you know what he's?
I think with Marcus Morrison, I just got to talk for a sec. Yeah, I think with Marcus Morrison it was different. He was really actually trying to do the Roy Jones thing. You could see it. You could see he didn't want to knock him out. Yeah. You know, when he had him hurt, he stepped back. With the build up and the whole thing about I'm going to punish this guy for the Liam Williams fight. With the build up and I'm going to knock him out when I want to knock him out.
You would like to see him. Yeah.
I want to see it. Like, you don't have to, like, if you want it to go 12 rounds. Let it go 12 rounds. Yeah. But the way that it went 12 rounds yesterday was like, I feel like he couldn't have stopped him if he wanted to. So the way the fight was going towards the end, he weren't able to stop Liam from coming in. Yeah. And he was just...
he kind of lost what he...
Yeah. That's why everyone's saying the first half of the fight, the first 5 rounds, the first 6 rounds. And it's like, he didn't lose his style. But the Roy Jones thing that we saw the first 5-6 rounds... It kind of went away. He stopped using his jab. He was making Liam miss, but it was still like quite erratic, if that makes sense.
It showed the level. Like, for me personally, can I ask you, man? Yeah, did you hear what Matthew Macklin said?
Possibly.
So he had it going into the 11th round, the round where Eubank knocked him down again, even though it was a slip. Yeah. Macklin had Eubank winning by 2 rounds only.
Yeah.
I was like, how is this possible? Like,
you know why though?
I kind of agreed with that.
Is it?
Time.
So did I.
I kind of agreed with that at the time, and I feel like the judges' scorecards were quite harsh on.
They were quite wide, yeah.
Liam Williams.
Yeah, it's very wide.
Other than the 3rd round, and I don't think he won a round. I personally don't think he won a round other than the rounds that he knocked him down.
I was just going to say
the 3rd round.
The rounds that he obviously won 10-8. It will still be a 10-8 round.
Yeah.
The other rounds could have gone either way.
Do you know what?
Because this is what I'm saying. He wasn't dominating. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I don't know, you know.
And he wasn't landing concussive punches, like, at all.
He wasn't. But for me, if you're standing in the middle of the ring, making a man miss and dancing, like, then you've got to be winning the fight.
He wasn't doing that, though. He
weren't doing that as much.
Running around. I don't like that term, running, but he was moving around the ring and kind of...
That's what I meant when I said erratic. It's like he weren't in control. He was getting hit with the odd jab. He was pulling his head back.
I felt like he slipped quite a bit, to be fair. Like,
he did. He made a miss. But if I'm looking at aggression, effective aggressions and punches landed, in a lot of those exchanges, Liam is the one landing. or Liam is
He's the aggressor.
sometimes he's landing though, whether to the head or to the body, to the shoulder. Like he's knocking him off balance. Like he just didn't look like Chris was in the greatest of control. Whereas you see when Canelo, you're making it sound like when Canelo made Danny Jacobs miss.
When
he's standing in the middle of the ring and he's doing
he's
this.
Not, he's not doing Matrix.
Like, it wasn't like that. Do you know what I mean? It was
it
was more erratic. It was more. I'm not putting it down. It was still obviously skill, but I just I could.
It wasn't as convincing.
Yeah, I gave a lot of those exchanges to Liam.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think though, just going back to like Eubank and what kind of happened with him after the 4-5 rounds, like I still think that he's gonna battle with some of the tendencies to do what he's done in the past and stop throwing them lead uppercuts when you're not even in range. And do you know what I mean? It's never been that bad, but I think what especially the commentators, when they talk about him going to Roy Jones and we need to see the improvements, it's like Roy Jones is probably trying to make him unlearn a lot of those things that he's been doing for like 7-8 years. That's probably harder than trying to learn and implement the new things. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of feel like that might have been his kind of instinctive side coming back into it once he felt really comfortable.
Yeah.
Lack of discipline in there and lack of kind of habit. I guess.
And respect probably as well at that point.
Yeah, I think that as well. But this is my next thing. Kind of talking about the big fights, the Charlo, the Triple G, the Canelo, Andrade, even a rematch with Billy Joe. It's like
Billy Joe.
World champions, and none of us can really sit here and say this, but world champions, just like the things that we're talking about, lack of focus, lack of discipline, lack of respect.
They'll smell that out from
They don't move like that.
Yeah.
These guys don't move like that. Does that make sense? Like,
but I still think based on what I saw yesterday, he's progressing.
Yes.
I do. This is gonna sound wild, but I'm just gonna say it anyway.
Go on.
I think that he will eventually be able to challenge at that level. I don't hear the age thing. The guy's been in shape his whole career, probably his whole life. He's looked after himself. He doesn't fluctuate in weight. He doesn't take punishment in the ring. From what we've seen of his sparring, he don't take punishment either. He will last a long time.
But okay, so let's just talk about
making them simple improvements.
Yeah.
He's got all the other tools
but
some of these guys don't have. To go and challenge at the top.
His engine's world class.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, if you're, in my opinion, in pro boxing in a 12-round fight, if you can take a punch and you've got grit, which he has, and you've got stamina, which he has, you're going to be a hard night's work for anyone. But I still don't look at him and say, oh, he's world champion material. He's going to be a hard night for anyone because he's fit and he can take a shot.
Right now he's not.
But I don't know if he's got, like, yes, the improvements were there. But I don't know, man. I just don't think he's got the class of a Triple G or even the bigger Charlo. I don't see it right now. Yeah. And when we talk about Conor Benn, I could kind of see him being a world level fighter. Does that make sense?
He's a lot younger as well.
But like Eubank has already kind of been at that level-ish, thereabout.
We've seen him there,
yeah. What you're saying,
you know, I'm just like, the improvements were there, but it was against Liam Williams.
But listen, Liam Williams is a good fighter.
No, he's a good fighter. But I'm just thinking, resistance. Like, how would the other guys have dealt with him?
Of course, right now. But what I'm saying is, if he manages to hold that 4 rounds for another 4 rounds and then another 4 rounds,
yeah.
Like,
But if
you're looking at someone,
but big ifs and buts,
of course. But the evidence is there to show that he is improving. He's had what's that with Roy Jones? His third fight.
Third fight. Yeah.
So give him a bit of time. I mean, they're talking about Triple G,
who they shouldn't really be talking about.
They shouldn't be talking
Triple
about.
G's already in a fight, and
he's not over the hill. But
I don't know who he fights before he goes to that level. But I would like to see him give it a chance and give it a bit of time before he goes and makes that step up.
I want to see him versus Billy Joe. That's what I want to see. I think that's the next fight for him.
But just quickly,
it makes sense.
This is not a novice. This guy's had 32 fights.
I know.
Sorry, 34 fights.
But doing nonsense though, man. He's been doing nonsense his whole career.
No, I get you.
He has.
I get you.
The thing
he
is,
hasn't changed for the first 6 years of his career, he just was the same fighter. He didn't.
But I'm saying when
uppercuts.
you're not a novice and you're talking about Roy Jones having to, or whoever works with him having to unlearn these things, is it doable? Is it possible? You know,
I think it is.
I agree that if he maintains what he did in the first 4, for the rest of the fight, yeah.
I'm not saying he's gonna be the best middleweight in the world, but
Yeah.
he might be able to go and fight Bubu Andrade and make it a fight rather than than Andrade going in there and just completely boxing his head off and him not getting anywhere near him.
Any moving up though?
Andrade might be
He's moving up, I think.
So what, super?
Yeah.
Well, that's not. Chris can do that as well.
Let's not ignore Liam Williams. I don't know how much. I do want to talk about Chris's interview after the fight. I don't think you've seen it, Jay, but we'll talk about it. But just I know we're talking about Eubanks and because he won and he's, I guess, the household name in the fight. But like, what did you think of Liam's performance?
Very dirty performance. You know, have you seen? I know you said we're going to get into the Eubank thing, but he said that at one point Eubank said I had to bite his glove. Like he just kept on putting his glove in my mouth. He threw it. He kept on using the elbow, the forearm,
headlocking him a lot.
Headlocking a lot. At one point through a headbutt. Do you know what I mean? I think he would be. It was an underwhelming performance. I think he'll be very disappointed today, based on his performance. But
do you feel like he could
I
have?
don't think it was that bad. I thought he performed well.
I just think
Other than
just being hit with getting knocked down by a jab.
I know, but
you know what I mean?
That's
Yeah,
not
other
really,
than knockdowns is what he's saying.
That's not really the knockdown thing. Is not really.
But can you?
If someone hits you and
you go down, you go down, innit?
That's not something. Other than not get hit,
You don't make it a bad performance per se.
Yeah.
But
But
I get why you're
I
saying
think if
that.
he
that
like
was
if,
underwhelming. The way he was just like, see, the first 3 rounds, just I thought he was gonna get blown out.
yeah.
Yeah,
But,
it looked that way.
the way he come back, I just thought, I think he boxed the rounds that he won. He boxed
Sorry,
very
I have
well.
to make this point.
Yeah.
You see, when you're saying you thought he was going to get knocked out, I have to, in my opinion, this is my opinion, yeah. A world champion
Would have.
seen it, would have understood this is what's going on in the fight. He's out of there. It's time to go. Like it's time.
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes I think that's a characteristic or a personality trait that Eubank hasn't got, but he just doesn't know when to. Does that make sense?
But he didn't use the right hand.
Like how did you let, if you've got an engine, because sometimes if you let a guy back in a fight or back in a spar, it's because you don't trust your engine, like we spoke about with AJ and Pulev. How did Eubank let him back in the fight? Like how did that happen? That shows that you're not in control of what's going on. Say again.
I don't really feel he did. Like at no point was Eubank under pressure or like. I think he just felt, well, I've already won the fight at this point, so I'll just carry on. Like I'm not gonna, like you said before, I'm not gonna get knocked out here. I'm not gonna really get pushed too much. I'm just gonna kind of stay in here, stick it around, and just see my way to the end of the fight.
This is where I kind of believe him when he saying that he decided to take his foot off the gas, because you've seen in other fights where he's trying to knock man out from the first round. So it's not like he doesn't have that kind of...
That might be the Roy Jones thing, though. And that might be the negative of it, because Roy Jones is trying to get him to use his brain a bit more.
And that's what I'm saying. Like he might
styles,
he might be battling between styles and not... And I do think he lacks kind of... He's obviously a very, very intelligent guy. But I think he lacks kind of intelligence in the ring. We've seen when, like, the Billy Joe fight, like, that was a long time ago, but... It's like halfway through the fight, he just switched on.
You woke up.
And it's like, why weren't you doing this from the start?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So I don't know what that is, but we'll see. Just going back to what we were saying about Liam Williams' performance, I don't think it was that. I thought it was quite a good performance, other than the knockdowns. You know,
Fair
like
enough.
I said, the first and the 11th, he was winning the round.
The 11th, it wasn't even a knockdown.
Then and the 11th wasn't.
Yeah,
even
the first round he looked good.
He come out good. I just think from that first knockdown, his eyes just looked glazed. He just looked like he didn't really know where he was.
It's definitely a sharp. Chris Eubank was definitely throwing sharp shots. You know what I'm saying? So if you get hit, like they say, with a shot that you can't see, I get it. I feel like, just going back to Liam, he's left Dom Ingle, he's gone to Adam Booth. I didn't see much of a game plan. And if there was one, I couldn't really understand it. And I get that. I kind of get, not from experience, but just from watching the fight, I get that he might have had to change his game plan a little bit with the knockdowns.
After the knockdown,
but I still couldn't really see, like, okay, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on his chest. I'm trying to double jab to get closer. Like I couldn't necessarily really see what his game plan was, what he had been working on. I know there's a lot of tension on Chris, but with Chris, I could kind of see he was trying to jab, he was trying to box, he was trying to feint.
First time we've seen him work to a game plan.
I could see that. Yeah. I could see the game plan without someone telling us. But with Liam,
for the first 4 rounds,
considering he'd come from the stock that he'd come from, which is Domingo and Adam Booth, I didn't really see, like, he could have stayed with Domingo for that fight. Like, did going to Adam Booth really make a difference? Like, I was a bit confused about his performance. I'm not saying it was a good performance or bad or whatever. I just didn't really, and that's why I felt like Eubank should have got rid of him, because he was there to get rid of. Yeah. Does that make sense? He wasn't really.
He was there for the taking.
He wasn't really doing anything.
If he went and finished him off in the 5th or 6th round, emphatically, we would be sitting here saying, "Raw." Like,
yeah, because that's what he needs to do.
But he did kind of like tarnish it a little bit.
Yeah, because he gave away. Sorry to interrupt you. Go on, Josh.
Yeah, he just, like you said, he just gave him a chance to get back into the fight, to the point where the commentators having it almost at a draw. Do you know what I mean?
Closer. So, and I think, like I said, the interview that he gave in the change room, I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
He was saying, yeah, you did. You referenced it. He was saying basically, Josh, that I wanted to punish this guy. People say that I can't jab, so let me use this jab. Fight and use my jab. And I don't feel like he's that disciplined.
Yeah.
Do you feel me? I don't think he cares that much about what people think. He's not shown that he does. So I didn't see that. The build up, it was a grudge match. You didn't want to shake hands. You feel me? Like at the table.
I don't think they shook hands after ever.
No, they didn't. But I'm saying that grudge match and that vibe, you want to get rid of a guy.
Yeah, I hear that.
So when he was saying, I just decided to, a lot of the comments, and even Johnny Nelson was saying, that's rubbish. Like, and I kind of agree. Like, if you can hit a guy and hurt a guy, why are you going to let him push you back on the back foot? Only one round where I feel Eubank Jr. really switched off and took the mick was the 12th round. Was that he didn't really throw any punches.
The early shuffle he hit was serious.
And he was just messing about. I get that, but like, between there and round 6 or between there and round 5, I feel like, I don't know, he just let Liam back in the fight. And I think that took away from what could have been a great performance.
Yeah. By his standards, isn't it?
Yeah, just in general though. Like, if he did get rid of him around 5 or 6, I'll be like, you know what? He could maybe give Charlo a run for his money or win, because he showed discipline and he showed that he got the end product.
But all of that being said, for me, I would still say that's probably his best performance. That and the last 6 rounds of the Billy Joe fight, for me, are his best performances.
Yeah. I think they're definitely, it's definitely a completely different performance to what we've seen. And sometimes the other stuff that he's done has really worked for him, because more time, because the guy in front of him ain't very good. But no, like, definitely the first 4 is the best I've seen him box. And it's what I've kind of, because I'm a fan of Eubank Jr. Like, I think he brings a good, like, that pantomime villain role that he plays. Like, I think he does it well. He's been consistent with it. Like, man walks out to the whole crowd booing him. Yeah, doesn't care.
And that's another thing as well. It's an away ground. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Like, but I just feel like he brings he's got a lot to give to the sport. If he can just get it right in the ring, he could be a good world champion. Do you know what I mean?
I think
his dad's name as well. Like, that's obviously, don't even need to mention that. But yeah, man, it was good to see him improve on some of the rubbish that he's done in the past. You know,
I was watching it on Instagram Live, and a lot of the people in my comments were saying, he looks like really relaxed. He did have the Roy Jones swagger about him, and it looks good. Yeah, and sometimes that can sell you. Like you say, he's already got the name, but just looking good and looking like you're in control, just it adds to your game. Potential matches. Before we move on to Conor Benn calling him out on Twitter, at middleweight. Some of the names we've spoken about, like, is the Triple G thing really a fight you want to see? I mean, obviously we'd watch it, but
Triple G fighting the Japanese guy, the world champion. What's his name?
Right.
They're trying to unify the belts, I think, aren't they? Yeah. I can't remember his name. I slipped my mind, but I think them two are already signed up for a fight.
I've heard about that, yeah.
And I don't know. I would like to see him in there with Golovkin.
I think it could be a good timing fight for him.
Golovkin's getting on.
Yeah, he might catch Golovkin at the right time, where Golovkin just hasn't quite got that spite in the punch and got it in him to go the 12 rounds with someone like Eubank Jr.
It will be a tough fight.
When was Golovkin's last fight?
He had one on a DAZN show abroad. I'll find it.
But I think it could be a timing factor because I think Golovkin's 41 now.
Yeah, it'll be a smart move if he can get Golovkin at the right time and beat him. That adds to the hype a little bit. Obviously,
that's a name.
People that are really looking at it are going to say, "Well, yeah, it's you just got him at the right time." But then, a lot of fighters have made their name doing that.
But the talk that he comes with is that like he's ready, and to be fair, been ready for a Charlo who's maybe a world champion in his prime. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So like, this isn't Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Or this isn't a prospect on the way up and they're saying, okay, let me give him an Asian world champion or and not an easy fight, but you understand? This is Eubank who's been saying that, look, I'm with Roy, I can't be stopped. I got Sky behind me. Why are you gonna fight Triple G? Like, why are you gonna fight someone who's slightly on the way down? Like, why not fight? Why not make? Why is he chasing that fight? Because I just don't understand why he's chasing that fight.
I think it brings a lot of attention. Obviously, Triple G is on his way down, but like,
it's still I
just think it's still a big fight.
Financially, that's probably the biggest fight. That and Billy Joe.
Financially, all of that I can agree with. I just feel like I don't know how. I still don't know how good Eubank Jr. is. I still don't know. I still don't know where to put him or where he levels up. Although he beat the girl and he lost to Groves and he lost to Billy Joe, and now he's beat Liam Williams. I still don't know where to put him. Like, I feel like Felix Cash will give him a good fight. And Felix Cash, we don't. You understand what I'm trying to say? And then we don't really put Felix Cash
in that
bracket with Charlo and Triple G. And the reason we don't is because he's not a name. His dad's name is not Eubank Jr. But like, I feel like Felix Cash would give him a very, very good fight.
Yeah, no, I hear that.
You understand? And again, not to repeat myself, but I wouldn't put Cash up there with Charlo or Triple G or any of them guys.
Yeah, for me personally, of all the names that we've mentioned in terms of potential fights, I think the only ones that Eubanks has a chance against is Billy Joe and Triple G, and for the reasons that we've mentioned with Triple G, I don't want to see him in there with Charlo. I don't think that makes sense for him. I don't think it's going to be a good choice if he goes that route.
Yeah, which is probably more a business decision and financial.
I do believe, like, I know it's just one fight. It's just 4 rounds, but based on what I saw in that 4 rounds, he has got something there. And I think if he can stick to that, then we will eventually see him at the right time with someone like Charlo.
Do you feel like he could have done that to Felix Cash yesterday?
I don't think Felix Cash would have let him, so to speak. I don't think he would have gone down the way Liam Williams was going down. Because he might have been forced to box better for the 12 rounds with Felix Cash.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. When Felix Cash is thinking that he can beat Eubank Jr. and you got Conor Benn calling for the fight at a catch weight, it's like, these guys are fighters of good level. What are they seeing? That like, we're sitting here saying that, we'd like to see him with X, Y, and Z. Like, what are they seeing?
But that Conor Benn catch weight thing, like,
yeah, let's talk about it.
I don't even want to talk about it. Like, no one wants to see that, man. Like,
I want to see it. I want to see it. Bro. I want to see anything. I want to see. Listen, I want to see.
The thing is, Conor Benn strikes me as quite a small welterweight.
Yeah,
I don't think he's small anymore. Still, I don't think he's big in stature. Yeah, but I don't think he's small.
Obviously, he's got the physical presence to be a welterweight, but he's not. And where do you think Eubank's going to come down? Like, he's shredded to bits as it is. It's not. That's just not going to happen.
I think I can see them doing
154, isn't it?
Yeah,
so that's 6 pounds.
They go above that 157. It will be a proper like catch weight. Like,
yeah, but Conor Benn is a welter.
Conor Benn's got to put all that on.
Yeah, Conor Benn's.
Yeah, but that's what. It's going to be harder for him. For him to come down.
I don't want to see that, man.
But obviously, I know you love to talk about this, like, from a financial perspective and from a business perspective.
I'm all about the money, man.
Like, I get it. Like, the dad's fault. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It would make sense.
It sells.
Not even it would make sense, but like it sells.
It sells.
I don't even see how it's even like.
But my thing is, sticking to the point, this is like about money aside. What a guy's seeing to where you think you can call out a guy who's 2 weight classes above you.
No, but
come on, bro. Put it in perspective.
But
like,
this is what
is
Ben's
Conor
doing.
looking at? What is Felix looking at? Felix Cashman is saying they'll beat this guy. Like what?
But Conor Benn, this is how he's made his name as well. Like in terms of his own
But
profile.
I'm saying if guys thought Eubank Jr. was that dangerous, they wouldn't be calling him, fam. That's
Yeah,
my
but
point.
Conor Benn is 100% calling him out for publicity. Like
yeah.
That's
not gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen.
I'm just saying outside. I know.
But you're saying, what are they seeing?
Yeah.
Conor Benn knows he's not gonna.
And he's seeing round 5 to 12.
At a catchweight could beat Eubank Jr.?
No.
Do you think Conor Benn?
Too small.
No, I just don't think it will happen.
Do you think he could beat him?
At this stage, he's probably if they were the same weight, Conor Benn is probably the better boxer at this moment in time.
Do you think he'll
More
beat
ferocious.
At the same weight.
catchweight same
At
way?
the same
He
weight,
thinks he will.
At the same weight.
And last time I was
At
here,
the
you
same
said
weight.
I've fallen
He's
for the
better
Conor
than
Benn
him.
hype.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, this is a welterweight in Conor Benn. And I know it's just your opinion.
No, but I'm saying,
Fam, I agree with you, though.
If
I
Eubank
agree.
Jr. was a welterweight,
Yeah, but this
If
is
they were
what I'm
the-
saying.
if
They're
they were
gonna
the same
be a catchweight.
size.
it's a fantasy.
It's going to be a catchweight.
Yeah, it's
the catchweight
hypothetical.
won't happen. At a catchweight, he won't beat him. He won't be strong enough. At a catchweight, he won't beat him. I'm saying in a hypothetical conversation, Conor Benn is a better boxer at this moment.
I agree with
than
that.
Eubank Jr. But the fight would never happen. And if they fought at a catchweight, Eubank Jr. will be too strong for him.
Yeah.
He'll be too strong for him.
Yeah, I mean, he'll definitely be too strong for him.
And he's a lot
Definitely
bigger
too
as
strong
well.
for him. Yeah. I'm not saying that Conor Benn would win easily. My point is, what a guy's seeing to where, like, they think they can say that.
Felix Cash is probably seeing that he's a good boxer himself. And if you can box, you can beat Eubank Jr. And I do think that
Which you said before.
I do think that Liam Williams showed that in the 5, 6 rounds that he was outboxing Eubank Jr. for. Felix Cash will look at that and say, I might not even get caught by them shots, but I'm not going to get put down by a jab. So if I can box him for 12 rounds, I can beat him.
Yeah.
He saw exactly what you're questioning in Eubank Jr. in his inability to finish off the fight and maintain that performance throughout the fight. Whether that was his choice, whether that was him just losing his weight, or whether that was Liam Williams not allowing him to do what he was doing before. That's what Felix Cash would have seen, and fair play to him. It remains to be seen whether that would actually happen. I think that would be a good fight. Eubank Jr. ain't going to be looking in that direction though. Unless
it's because of his name.
Yeah.
But really, and this is my point. Although this is all things boxing, and we talk about, the money and the finance and all, just like, and the fantasy matches. I'm just saying that, like, skill for skill, I feel like Felix Cash is closer to Eubank Jr. than Eubank Jr. is closer to Charlo, Triple G, or
100%.
Yeah, I agree with that.
100%.
That's why I don't want to see him in it.
So when I'm saying I don't know how good he is I don't know. Like I'm not sold on him. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like I feel like he can't. Although he did use a jab, I feel like he's not a good boxer. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he's not.
You know,
he's not. Other than that first 4 rounds,
and I feel
I'll
like
keep mentioning that. Like,
he's very unorthodox as a boxer, though.
He's never been a good boxer, though.
Yeah,
he's never been. He's been good at the highlight reel stuff.
Yeah, and you need that.
But that's like he's been doing that with no fundamentals or not showing the fundamentals, and that might be because of his limited amateur background. It's obviously because he ain't been doing the right things in the gym up until now. But yeah, like. You're right. Like he's not a good boxer,
I didn't. But him trying to box, I didn't see the Eubank Jr. that fought Billy Joe Saunders in the last 5-6 rounds, or the one that hurt Nick Blackwell, or the one that got rid of DeGale. I didn't see the rat-a-tat-a-tat. I didn't see the overwhelming guy. Like
you want to see a bit of both.
I feel like we need to see it in order for him to be successful.
But just imagine is
he going to go in there and box Triple G on the back foot?
But he did say he hurt the hand as well.
But I just think that if he can just get the boxing side of things right, he will be very dangerous because he'll be leading people into a fight that he's naturally better at.
He's ready for.
As long as I mean, as long as he doesn't unlearn that too much, because that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I didn't see that yesterday. I didn't see that yesterday. Last time I saw it was against Morrison, and it's almost like he wanted to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
Roy Jones is teaching him to not do that. It's clear.
And that might not be the best thing for him, because against Triple G, against anyone really, he's going to need that.
He's gonna have to.
If he goes in there and starts doing a fencing thing with Conor Benn, with Felix Cash, with like
Conor Benn, man, not Conor Benn.
Fam, like you said, he'll get outboxed by Conor Benn. You said Conor Benn's a better boxer.
Yeah,
so that's what I mean.
He said if they were the same size, though.
If he goes in there and starts boxing, like with most guys, like you said a couple of weeks ago over there, you said that Eubank Jr. If anyone's got a basic jab and a basic boxing ability, they can beat Eubank Jr. And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, same size as it. Not Conor Benn, man.
Forget the Conor Benn thing. I think.
Yeah, forget Conor Benn.
Forget the Conor Benn. But my point is, he needs to have that. He needs to have the mad uppercuts and the flurries and the crazy work rate.
That's what makes him.
That's what's made him good, bro. If he went in there and started boxing with everyone like the guys that he's beat, Groves would have stopped him earlier. Like the girl would have had more success. Like, so yeah, I don't know, man. I'd like to see the Eubank and Conor Benn fight at a catch rate. To be honest, I think it's a good fight.
I understand why though, man.
I don't know, man. Like,
I just want to see Conor Benn in there with anyone at the moment.
I'm just not sold on Eubank that much, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't know, like, just the size difference. I don't think Conor Benn would have the tools to beat him. I just don't think he would.
Yeah,
and if he came,
that's what I'd like to see. I'm not saying that he's going to beat him.
If he came anywhere near him, and Eubank starts doing them mad uppercuts and that, like, bro, he's just too. Yeah, bro, that's not going to happen.
Okay, we'll see. So yeah, Charlo and Eubank. I have Charlo.
Mm-hmm.
You have Charlo
right now.
But how long are you talking? Like, he's in his 30s.
But this is the thing, I don't think the age thing is. Honestly,
no, I'm just asking. That.
I don't think the age thing is a factor. I think give him a year or two and he'll be at that level. If he keeps. And the thing is, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the age, old dog can't learn new tricks and all this." But that argument is dead, man. We've seen fighters in the past box to George Foreman. And I know he's a heavyweight, it's a bit different. But he retired for 10 years and came back and boxed till he was 50.
When I'm talking about his age, sorry, I just mean like he's been doing stuff that needs to get unlearned his whole career. Not for like 5 years.
But you know yourself how easy it is to work on something.
Yeah.
If you do it in the right way and apply yourself to it. You know yourself, because you're of that ethos where you just practice something and learn it.
Yeah.
If you've got a bad habit,
and we're going around in circles here a little bit, but what he's gonna unlearn is what makes him good.
When I say unlearn, I'm saying the habit of going in there from the first round and the first shot you throw, you're dipping to throw an uppercut. Like that, I'm talking about that. I'm not saying unlearn the shot. I'm not saying unlearn the aggression. I'm just saying just use it at the right times. And that's I think that's what Roy, and he didn't do it last night. He didn't do it last night.
Yeah.
But I think maybe Roy is over teaching him the stuff he hasn't been doing in order for him to learn that, knowing that he can get through the fight doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yesterday, he didn't need to finish him off. He didn't need to.
No, but I agree with it.
For statement purpose.
Yeah, for statement purposes. He did.
In terms of winning the fight,
he didn't. No.
From the third knockdown, he knew he was not going to lose that fight.
Yeah.
And the statement had already been made in many respects. Like after the first 4 rounds, like what else is there to prove? Like, man.
Only Chris knows what really went on in his head.
I just didn't buy that interview. And that's where all my question marks are coming from. That's where I'm like, I'm not sure, because I really felt like he's going to go and try and stop this guy.
No, but
when he wants, excuse me.
Another thing he said, not to go back onto it, but he said like, because of how dirty he was fighting, he's like, I want to fight in the summer. If he comes and headbutts me, I get cut and I'm out in the summer.
I saw that in the 12th round. I did see that in the 12th round.
But
again, it's like, nullify the guy. Like anytime he comes in, jab and move. But it's like,
that's where I don't think he knew.
But he was stuck on the ropes. He was stuck on the ropes for too many times. He found himself square on the ropes with Liam, like basically in his chest. If that was, I know I'm gonna get told off for this. If that was Floyd, and Floyd wanted to stay away from a guy, Floyd would stay away from a guy. Like he wouldn't be in these mad clinches.
That might be still where he's trying to learn new things.
Yeah,
because
possibly.
it's stuff that we ain't seen him do before.
Yeah,
I think an ideal fight for him, as you mentioned it, might be Felix Cash next.
yeah.
Someone of that kind of that's gonna force him to do something.
Which probably won't happen because of like the direction. Yeah, I mean it won't happen, and I'm
He's
not sure.
chasing bigger things,
I don't think Felix has earned that. That anyway. Where do you want to see Liam Williams go next, if anywhere? I mean, we've got to keep it fair. We still got to talk about Liam as well. He was
Felix Cash. Why not?
Yeah, I feel like Felix Cash is.
Liam Williams stepped up to world level already, though, innit? So
Yeah, I feel like Felix Cash is. What is he? He might be going for a European or something though. I think he is going for a European.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'd like to see Denzel Bentley fight Liam Williams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
let's see that then.
I'd like to see that.
That's what I want to see then.
Yeah, that could happen.
Yeah. What about Denzel versus Chris?
I think it won't happen. I don't know about Chris though, bro. You know, I feel like,
But look,
I feel like Chris would have to. I feel like Chris would have to go back to his old ways to really to put a dent in
but
Denzel.
he's a good boxer.
Who?
Denzel. He's a
Yeah,
very
but
good
no, but I'm
boxer,
saying if Denzel, if Chris boxes with Denzel, I feel
But again,
like,
it wouldn't happen because
yeah, but hypothetically, if Chris was to box with Denzel,
he's beating him. Yeah,
yeah, I think he's beating him. I think
Yeah.
Denzel Bentley is beating him, but he would have to be very cautious of Chris doing the Mazza. You know what I'm trying to say? And if Chris does the Mazza, then it's a hard night for Denzel.
But everyone's got to be careful of Chris coming in and doing a
This is
Mazda. Do you know what I'm saying?
I don't think he's doing the Mazza no more.
Nah, he is, man. He is. Do you know what?
I don't think he's doing
Bro,
the
when he spoke about the hurt hand, like when you look back at the fact, I watched it twice.
Yeah.
He didn't really throw the right.
Fam, I just didn't see him do the Mazza. Like the knockdowns, they weren't really him doing. Sorry, guys. If you're American and you're watching this, the Mazza means. How can I articulate this? It means the madness. I didn't see him doing the crazy combinations that he normally does. And I feel like that's him, and that's what makes him exciting. That's what makes him good. Us looking, because he's Eubank, because he's with Sky and Sowland and Wasserman, we're looking at the improvements that he's made. And because he's with Roy Jones, we're looking at the improvements that he's made, and we're like, he's made improvements. But what makes him effective is when he does the uppercuts, the loads of combinations.
Just going off what you just said about Sowland, I remember I spoke to you about it earlier. He mentioned before the fight Kell Brook. If Kell Brook gets through Khan, step up to Eubank.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, why? Why? Like, fam, you talk about catch weights and stuff. This is a welterweight.
No, but Kell's moved up before, remember?
Yeah, but fam,
and the hype is there because remember, Chris Eubank said that he took the Triple G fight off him before.
Yeah, Kell did fight.
Fam, if he's gonna fight, if he can fight Kell Brook, he can fight Conor Benn. If he can fight Kell Brook, he can fight Conor Benn.
No,
like they're welterweights.
Yeah, but Kell Brook's
it's a different point in his career, though.
I think he's a bigger welterweight.
He's a bigger welterweight, man.
But what is Kell Brook gonna go up to middleweight to fight?
Yeah, I think that's what he wants to do. Because remember, I think he looks very big coming into this Khan fight. You know?
If he's getting hurt by Terence Crawford, what do you think he's in his second round? He got stopped.
Yeah.
What do you think he's gonna do against a middleweight who has fought at super middleweight?
But I've already told you, I think he's gonna
box him.
Well, I don't know, man.
I don't. Look,
I think he's gonna get touched by Khan, so I don't think it's gonna happen anyway. But
if he gets touched by Khan, yeah, he definitely.
God forbid Khan tries and fights Eubank Jr. Man.
No, he's going over to.
But
fight
this is the crazy thing with boxing at the moment. These fights, including the Conor Benn one, these fights gonna happen. Khan versus Eubank, Kell versus Eubank, and Conor versus Eubank because of the money, because of the filming.
Yeah, they need to regulate it, man.
But what is sad is the guys like Denzel versus
they miss out.
Eubank, they'll miss out. Felix Cash versus Eubank, they'll miss out because they don't have same pulling power than these other guys.
I think a couple years later on in his career, it could have happened. With Denzel.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I think where Eubank is now, if he doesn't progress onto the next step, then kind of like in no man's land.
Yeah. No, I get you, but I know that those names can obviously make him pause the world title thing because if he's going to do pay-per-view against Kell Brook or Amir Khan in England and sell out, do you know what I mean?
You take that all day long.
So I'd like to see Denzel win the British title and maybe fight Liam Williams. I'd like to see Eubanks fight Felix Cash. I think it's fair for those fights to happen.
Cash is a big middleweight as well.
Yeah, you know, like even if it's not for anything, you know, like let Sky or Eddie and DAZN build it up, and let's see that fight happen. Anything else on that fight?
Just on that as well, the Conor Benn thing, like it would be a par to Cash if Conor Benn got that, because they're from the same camp.
Yeah, but
just wouldn't make,
because of it's history though, bro.
I know,
and I'm normally with you, but
that's front page of the newspapers.
This is history, bro.
Then is Ben gonna go and fight Felix Cash?
No, because he's fighting him for the name. He's not
fighting after that. He fights Canelo,
he's not fighting him to campaign at middleweight, because he probably won't even fight at middleweight because he's a catchweight. Yeah, but it's just the history, isn't it?
I'm not interested. I don't. Yeah, but there's some. I'm not interested.
For once, I am against this guy, and I'm with you.
That's front page of the Sun there still, 100%.
Anything else on that fight?
Oh man,
I don't think there is there. We'll see where Williams goes. We'll see if he stays with Adam Booth. He didn't go to the press conference. I haven't seen any interviews of him. We'll see what Eubank JR does. What we got next week? Kel and Khan.
2 weeks away.
We have
2 weeks away.
19th. Yeah.
Okay. We have done an episode on it before. Has any of your opinions changed?
No, man. I don't.
Who have you got again?
I think I have Khan, you know. Yeah, I've got Khan.
Yeah. I
got Khan. I think he's just gonna. Yeah, I don't think Kel's got it anymore, man. I think Khan is. I don't know what. I just get a feeling about Khan that he genuinely wants to fight rather than needs to fight.
Yeah. Have you seen his interviews?
He's looking serious.
He's
looking serious.
He's been selling it still.
But no, I just feel like Khan is coming from a place where he actually don't need this fight. It's not like a twilight of your career payday, which it is, but he doesn't need it. Like he's done his dance financially already. Yeah. Whereas Kell Brook, this is gonna be a huge payday for him compared to what he's been paid in the past, if reports are correct. So
what's making me side with Khan? I think I said this before, but it's just the whole training with Terence Crawford and that group of fighters. Everything he's saying.
Earlier,
say again?
Could have done it earlier.
He could have done it earlier, but I feel like Kell, in his last fight, in his fight before that when he fought Crawford, he weren't with no one. He wasn't with Ingle. Then he had another fight with someone else. I don't know who his trainer was, but now he's back with Ingle. I'm just not sure, but Khan's like he's got a new lease of life, and you would do training with Terence Crawford, Shakur Stevenson. He's saying he's doing 4-minute rounds, 30 seconds off. He's felt better than he's ever meant to say, which he's meant to say. He's been sparring Terence Crawford, whether it's flat out sparring or 50-50 sparring. I don't think you're gonna get better than that. This is someone who's already been in there and beat him and beat
and
Kell.
The young boys that are part of the group as well.
Exactly, and you know how they move out there. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's what's selling it for me. Regardless of who wins, I feel like the loser just needs to retire.
Depends on how it happens.
It's kind of hard. I always find it difficult. I know I will say it at times, but it's kind of not fair to say, someone needs to retire. But I just think, from a fan's point of view, it's never nice to see someone overstaying their welcome in the boxing thing just because of the nature of the sport. Yeah,
that's what I think. And I think it's the weight that they're in. I mean, look, if Sean Porter retired when he did, because he doesn't want to become food for the Ennis's and the Conor Benns of the world, you know, and what's the one that's fighting? The one that...
Virgil.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, Virgil
Ortiz, like, how much more, you know, Amir Khan and Kell Brook, you know, I feel like the loser should be encouraged to, because the weight division is too dangerous.
Yeah.
And they're still a big names. Win or lose. They're still big names. I don't even want to see the winner. I know you want to see the winner fight Conor. I don't even want to see the winner.
I reckon that happens.
I want to see that. I think it happens if Khan wins.
Hold on. I just want to, so if Khan wins,
it's him versus Conor Benn.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm saying I reckon that will
be the fight on the zone.
Would you rather see that than Eubank JR and Conor Benn?
No, I want to see Conor Benn against the Jaron Ennis's of the world, rather than the Virgil Ortizes, like you just mentioned, rather than these guys that are on their way down. Like I think Conor Benn's ready to take that step up, whether he wins or not.
I
think he needs that.
And if he loses, it's not.
He needs that acid test. He needs it.
Yeah. You know who I think he should fight? I feel Conor Benn should fight the winner of McKinson and Ortiz.
Yeah.
Or even the loser, actually.
McKinson don't come through that fight,
Yeah, but we gotta.
Not in my opinion.
We gotta,
until
it happens. Do you know what I mean? We can't just write the guy off.
It's already done.
I feel where you're coming from.
But then you got people like Chris Kongo. He needs a shout somewhere.
But the Congo thing is the same thing that we're talking about with Bentley, Denzel Bentley, Felix Cash, and Eubank JR.
In the welterweight
how are they going to make that fight happen?
In my opinion, in the welterweight division, there's enough big fights at every level. Congo can rematch McKinson. That was a very close fight. Or Josh Kelly,
he's gone up.
He's gone up now, innit? Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. I mean, in terms of, I don't know what he's doing.
But
I don't think I'd like to see Congo and McKinson.
I think.
But McKinson has gone up levels now, hasn't he? Since he beat Congo,
Yeah.
he did have another fight,
and now he's fighting.
And now he's fighting this one. Anything else on the card from yesterday that we want to talk about, just quickly? Did anyone watch Clarissa Shields?
I watched it.
Clarissa Shields, and
I
you
missed
know what?
that one.
Yeah, for the first time,
talk to me.
No offense to women's boxing, but for the first time, this Savannah Marshall thing, it's looking quite exciting. Like, they had a little
stark opposite, bro.
They had a little. Listen, they had a little thing
at ringside, didn't it?
Yeah, and that was genuinely like the most entertaining thing that happened on the card.
Swear on.
Yeah, man. Like,
bro, I couldn't have been less entertained.
I was just disappointed by the
by the interview.
Or... Oh, bro, like when two people are trash talking.
You know what? You see Clarissa, yeah. She comes with that like American trash talk.
It's the American, but you know what it was? Yeah, they come up to each other, they spotted each other, and then they start trash talking. It's like, come on, man, you're doing it for the cameras, isn't it?
Men do that as well.
Yeah. You know what? Savannah Marshall is a very good boxer.
It would be a good fight.
She's a Fury, isn't it? She's a Peter Fury.
Yeah, and then Clarissa, obviously, she's doing her dirt, and Savannah's the only one that's got the defeat on Clarissa Shields in the amateurs.
Yeah.
Like, for the first time, like, I'm like, raw, like, women's boxing is getting there,
Even with all the Katie Taylor fights.
Because Katie Taylor's just such a level above everyone else that she boxes.
Yeah,
it's kind of, as much as like I think she's a solid fighter as well. Very good fighter. I think it's the first time like there's two genuinely very good female boxers who could probably box some of the dudes and they would box a lot of the dudes and give them a good fight.
Do you think Marshall beats Clarissa? You know what? This is poor for me to sit here and say this, but I haven't seen Clarissa Shields fight.
To be honest,
I didn't see the fight yesterday.
It weren't worth watching.
What was it saying yesterday?
She might as well just been standing in front of a punching bag, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
it weren't good. But
one-sided 10-round fight. I think they scored it 120.
Unanimous like that.
Yeah.
She didn't drop her or nothing like that.
No,
I didn't watch the whole fight.
No, she never dropped her.
But I saw Savannah's last fight, and I think she's
hard,
very good.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
Hard. I think Savannah's very good.
Yeah.
And she's a big girl. Do you know what I mean? She's tall and long and rangy.
But a lot of people saying they reckon Savannah would beat Clarissa.
Is it?
Yeah.
I see Clarissa say something like, "I've got 5 out of 6 belts, and she's got none," or something like this. Like,
but do you know what it is as well? Clarissa's focusing on MMA as well, because she's been training wrestling and all that nonsense. So like, I think
to fight in MMA or to benefit her boxing.
She's gonna go over and fight MMA.
She's done it already. She's had 2
MMA fights.
Serious?
Her plan was to fight Amanda Nunes, the former UFC champion.
Wow.
But obviously she lost.
But if she's gonna fight Marshall, she needs to focus on that one.
Yeah, I got time for Clarissa Shields. Like I like her presence.
She
gave a very, very good speech at the press conference just about women's boxing and how it needs to be.
It's what women's
bigged up more.
She is what
they
women's
need someone like
needs
her
because Katie Taylor, as good as she is, there's no charisma there at all. Yeah. She keeps herself to this. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But where she's at the pinnacle of women's boxing, it's like they need that character in the sport.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that I've kind of
taken an interest
in this fight because I want to watch it.
That's good. Hopefully,
I'll definitely watch it.
She was talking about like not equal pay, but like women's pay. Like, she's finally at a stage where she can box full time. They ain't got to worry about boxing full time and working full time. So hopefully she does well. Who else was on the card?
Speaking of
Caroline Dubois.
Yeah, speaking of women's boxing, Caroline Dubois Obviously, she's done mad things in the amateurs.
She's a menace in that division.
Very strong.
Did you watch?
Yeah.
Very strong.
It's funny you say she's strong because in an interview I see Shane McGuigan say that she's come up to that weight.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so she's only just gone up. What did she fight? A lightweight or something?
I'm not
like that?
sure.
She's only just gone up to that weight, so I don't know what. She must have been quite strong.
I remember
in the one
about
below.
2 years ago, I see her at Repton sparring
Boys.
one dude, just putting them on the floor, bro. Like,
serious?
Yeah, man. Like, she's
on the floor.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, it was just one dude she dropped, but I was just like, raw, like,
this is what she's doing.
Yeah, mad, like southpaw, just nasty,
crazy.
Yeah, she's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else then? I think that's us. I don't think there's much else happening until.
Was we gonna touch on the how much time
we got? Time.
The AJ decision to step aside. To not step aside.
Wait, to not step aside?
Yeah. Well,
I heard Frank.
He's not stepping aside. He's going to rematch.
I heard that he was asking for $5 million more.
Asked for $5 extra mil the day of the thing.
Yeah, the day of the announcement. So he was ready and willing to step aside.
I don't believe
For me personally, look,
I don't. You know why I don't believe that?
Mm-hmm.
It's $5 million. I know that's a lot for like the normal person, but like.
No, it was 5 extra mil.
It was 5 extra.
So it would have been 20 mil.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying what he's gonna.
Could be like he's going to
potentially change the course of his career based on 5 million.
No,
do you think that's a lie though?
No.
Okay.
But the agreement was he steps aside for this fight and then he fights the winner.
Yeah, it would always be that way anyway.
Really, it probably would have benefited him more because he's fighting for a unified belt rather than just one off.
You see me, and I've got faith in AJ when I say this. Although I've seen like a weird interview of him recently, like I don't know what it was about, but I honestly believe that his decision to not step aside is based on him trying to build a legacy. And I don't think he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that will go and lose to someone, have the opportunity to rematch them, and then not rematch them and leave that blip on his career. Because even if he goes and beats Fury, if let's say Fury was to beat Usyk, then he went and fought Fury and beat Fury, yeah? There's always going to be the question of Usyk. And he could rematch him then.
Yeah, but
But there's no guarantee. Like, I just kind of feel like he's financially, he's set.
But at the same time, what's throwing me, bro, is that like when he was in Dubois a couple like months ago, he was saying that, look, he wants to be known for his business decisions as well as his legacy in the ring. When Coogan was asking him if he would step aside, and he said, look, he'll definitely be open to it. So he was open to it. And, he's a businessman. And he said, like, if the money's right, it's like he's got family to feed, he's got kids. And this is what boxing is turning into a bit more now. It is about the money a lot more, and it is about then legacy,
right,
and we spoke about that. But, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, all right, so in that case, maybe he was asking for an extra 5 mil. But it's kind of like, he's still been offered the 15 mil.
Yeah,
and he's turning it down.
Yeah.
So obviously, in his head, he's thinking, you know what? That tells me, even if that's true, that tells me he didn't want to step aside. But obviously, if someone offered you 100 mil to step aside,
I feel like
someone offered me 100 grand.
I feel like he was.
Trust me.
I feel like he was probably definitely like wrestling with the decision. I feel that's what that.
But that just tells me that
which means he's here and there.
Yeah. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. Which is
I've seen an interview with Eddie where he was saying that under no circumstances AJ wanted to step aside.
Yeah.
So obviously he's his promoter, so he's gonna say that. But
I
fancy him against Usyk.
I think that was the case at first, but then as time got on, I do believe that like he was probably more entertained. He was entertaining it for a while.
Must be difficult not to, man.
Yeah, like
15 mil just to
like,
not fight.
Although he didn't say it from his mouth, like I was seeing people saying, "Oh, he shouldn't step aside," and I think people should look. If you're not fighting, if you're not a fighter.
You can't.
You shouldn't even be talking. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You can't. You're not familiar with that kind of money. None of us are at this moment. So he's the one that's got to go in there and fight, lose, win, or draw. So I feel like if he wanted to step aside, I don't really necessarily feel like it's any shame.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not shocked by it. I wouldn't have been shocked either way. But I'm just glad that he gets a chance to kind of repair. And a loss ain't damage on your record, but it's damage on your record, if you know what I mean. Like,
that one was a little bit.
Yeah, but he boxed probably the pound for pound best fighter
at that moment
in time. Do you know what I mean? So again, like when we go back to it, AJ has never been that good. So really and truly, what did he lose in there other than a bit of hype?
Yeah, I think
in my opinion,
I think it's a lot of hype.
A lot of hype.
Like, but I agree. Outside of that,
it wasn't a bad loss because it's like if I went in with Usyk, you're only going to expect one thing, and you're not going to be coming out saying raw. He messed you up. Like you're going to be like, oh, you're telling me I'm good for going in there in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Like, and obviously AJ is better than me. The way I saw that loss was it wasn't anything more than what I expected. If he goes in there and loses again, it probably will be the same thing. But I like the fact that he's trying to overturn something. Yeah, like right his wrongs.
He's probably going to get paid more.
Did you see that interview where he's like,
he won't get paid more? But Usyk's out here playing football at the moment.
I saw that.
You see that video where he's saying he's taking it back to the streets and that?
I did, yeah. I don't know when he says that.
I think he must have been joking, man. Like he just looked.
But he looked
like he was like plugged into something, man. Like he was just like.
But this is why I think he's like this. I think a lot of people are saying stuff. Like, I follow him on Snapchat, and sometimes he vents on Snapchat, and I just think he's here, there. Like sometimes he wants to be the role model, and other times he's really aggravated by what people are saying and stuff like that.
I think he knows exactly what he's doing.
You know why? Because these losses have hurt him. Like they've hurt him in here, you know, like Ruiz and Usyk.
Going back to the conversation earlier, it's a lonely sport.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably had to have that battle with himself. And I think I agree with you where he doesn't even know who to be at times.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is that because he's
putting a pedestal on it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He's like, that
Eddie
guy.
Hearn has made him.
I see that surprises me though, man, because he appears to have a very close-knit team around him. Yeah. Same faces always around him. Whenever he's on holiday, he's with them same people. Like they're like a family though. It looks like that from the outside.
Yeah.
So to struggle that much internally, like
but he's the one that's taking the losses.
Who's talking in his ear?
No, but it's not just that. You got to think all the people that are around him, he's looking after them. So you got to think. I reckon at that point you're like, am I looking after these people? Are they, you know what I mean?
We
like,
assume that.
Yeah, you're right.
I agree with you, Josh. I feel like his team is very close, but at the same time, I feel like when he's taking them losses, he's still feeling it, man. Like regardless of who's around him or who's not, like he's gonna feel that. And he's admitted that like they hurt him, and they should, and there's no shame in it hurting him. But I feel like that it hurting him, and it's like when he wins, people say, "Oh, you can't box." When he boxes and he wins, people say, "Oh, you can't knock someone out." Like he's heard all of this from all of his opponents. Through all of his opponents that he's fought.
Yeah.
From all of the critics, sorry. So like all of that. So when he comes back and he says all of that, I think it's true. When people say, like, you got Fury saying he's a stiff bodybuilder, you got people saying that he can't box and he can't take a shot and all this and he can't jab. So he's gone in there and he's tried to jab with you. I think all of this is true. I don't think he's playing with us when he says that. And I think that's aggravated him because he's come out and he's like, in his hearts of hearts, he's like, I just got beat by someone who's like 15 stone, who I should be crushing. Usyk or not, like I should be crushing. So that, taking it back to the streets, like I'm going to go wild. I feel a lot of that is how he feels, but I feel like it's pent up from like obviously losing, but then like listening to other people and reacting to that. And he's trying to move trainers and all this stuff. I don't know if it's a good space that he's in, if I'm honest. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like the moving trainers and all of this and not knowing how to fight. Like going to different trainers, they're going to teach you new things. What, are you going to try and implement that in the ring? When really you should just go and do what you already know to do. You don't need no one else to show you. So I think it's a weird space that he's in. We got 5 minutes. So moving on.
Just quickly going off that, I'm glad that he hasn't stepped aside and that Dillian gets the fight. Yeah, I'm very happy for him, man.
For Dillian.
Yeah.
Big for Dillian.
Just on that fight, I haven't heard from White. There's this talk on anything. Instagram and Twitter, like White's silence, and everyone's commented on White's silence. I don't know why. Does that mean he ain't taking the fight? I don't know.
No,
like, I hope he's
taking it. They've got preliminary date, I think, for 23rd of April.
Okay, right. I would like to see him do well, you know.
Yeah, man. I don't like.
I just we'll still practice in another episode, but I don't know how
the left hook,
he
bro.
beats him.
The left hook.
Yeah,
that's his only bet, I think, for me.
Tyson took Wilder's right hand, so it's just hard for me to. But I get you.
I think going to that though, I just think it's different.
Definitely,
it's they're such different fighters, Dillian Deontay.
But Dylan needs to land that left hook at will every round. You know what I'm trying to say? And I ain't seen
I don't want to say
that.
it. I don't want to say it. But
I
I
ain't
think
seen
it only
him do
takes
that.
one, you know.
I don't know.
And listen, it didn't take one with Deontay Wilder.
I know it's difficult to go against his power, innit? And I understand that. I just think that when you're anticipating, I don't want to get hit by this guy, and then you do, and then you kind of firm it. When you get back up, you're a stronger man. And I think against Dillian, he's probably going into the fight thinking, "Oh, you old dosser," you know what I'm saying? How he goes on Instagram. If he gets caught by something he's not anticipating or he doesn't see, that's the way that Dillian White wins, isn't it?
Of course, like there's always a chance that something could go wrong for Fury. There's always that chance.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Ratio-wise, isn't it?
We have to assume that Fury's coming in at his best, or at least the Fury that fought Deontay Wilder, and Dillian White's coming in at his best. On paper, there is nothing to suggest that Dillian White can beat Fury.
Yeah.
And
Fury's
what?
proved that.
Yeah.
He's got up from Deontay Wilder's right hand, the bigger man, the bigger puncher. He's outboxed him, completely outboxed him. Yeah, to the point where in the second fight, he didn't like. It was just whatever. And then like Dillian White is just on those terms. Like Dillian White just has nothing. You can't say he's sharper than him. You can't say he's more powerful than Deontay Wilder. We can't say that. No one can say that. Dillian White has even been knocked out in recent times.
Yeah.
And that's no detriment to Dillian White. It was Povetkin, who's a massive puncher. But
I feel you. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? There's nothing. There's just nothing on paper to suggest that Dillian White will win the fight, other than Fury might have
an off night or whatever.
An off night. He might catch him with a hook that he doesn't see or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the same in any fight. Really.
Yeah.
That's boxing, isn't it?
Well, hopefully we can see a unified fight. I mean, it'll be interesting to see who it is. It's either going to be, look, it's
going to be AJ versus Dillian again.
It could be Dylan versus Usyk. It could be Dylan versus Usyk.
What do you mean? Oh, you mean
unification?
Yeah, like it could be
Dylan versus AJ too.
See, I would like to see that fight more.
Dylan and Usyk.
Yeah, because I think Dylan will do what he's meant to do in that fight.
He'll attempt.
I think AJ's going to do that in the next one.
Yeah, I'm a bit with you still.
Usyk is on job, and it will take a lot. But
because he won't be able to keep Dylan off.
When you're talking about taking it to the streets and
like
all this,
Chisora and all
Dylan's been doing that.
That's Dylan.
He's been
all
doing
over.
that. Chisora's been doing that, and Chisora did that against Usyk.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So
it'll be interesting. So we got that coming up, but first things first, we've got Kell Brook versus Amir Khan. So we will come back and do episode 8 straight after that fight. So yeah, look forward to that, guys. Continue to comment, like, subscribe. We're trying to get more subscribers, trying to get more likes. Engage us in the comments and follow us on Instagram. All right, peace.